Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brad from Headbangers Podcast. Today we've got Jim from Mastiff. Now, you haven't heard of Mastiff. They're a black and hardcore band from Hull in the UK. They've got a really interesting sound. We do delve into that. Also, how he developed his vocal style and his influences going into that. We talk a lot about how the UK scene has changed over the years and where it stands right now, as well as his hobbies and interests as well. He's a massive foodie. He's also a massive fan of vinyl collecting, so we jump into that too. If you like the podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you listen on audio streaming services, leave us a rating. It really does help out in the algorithm. And without further ado, here's the episode. Welcome back to the Headbangers Podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad. Here today, we're joined by Jim from Mastiff. How are you doing, man? To start off with.
All right, are you?
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good.
Good, man.
Oh, cool.
So let's start off with a little icebreaker on this show. First thing that we do is ask you, what's your funniest gig or tour story that you can recall?
That I can repeat.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's always what people
yeah.
say. It's like, what can we say and what can't we? That'll get us in
Yeah.
trouble.
Fucking hell. You put me on the bloody spot. I should have done my bloody homework here, really. I've listened to a few of you.
It's a curveball.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Can I have a moment to think about that and then I'll come back
no
to
worries.
it?
Yeah, of course.
No worries. One thing as well I wanted to ask you, because like one of the main reasons why we wanted to get you on, and one of the main reasons like we we're aware of you guys and stuff like it's great music, but Harry from Burner really put us onto you guys, and he mentioned that you guys are really good friends and everything like that. I just wanted to ask you, like, how did that friendship sort of start? Was it just purely from doing gigs, or
It was it was pretty much. So we did the EP, and then we played with them at Boom, and just hit it off with them. They're such nice dudes, genuine, cool kids, whatever, and that's how we started it off, and the rest is a history sort of thing. So beautiful friendship like that. You don't meet a lot of people you want to hang about with all the time, and them lot, I'd quite happily spend a lot of time with them.
Oh yeah. When we spoke to Harry, one of the nicest guys we've spoke to on the podcast. Like, it's just it's such a down to earth person. Just instantly, like, you hit it off with him straight away.
Even though he's got that weird accent.
Yeah, it's so funny because we got him on, right, and then I thought, oh, is he like American or something? And then he started saying, oh yeah, from Leeds, and we started talking about Leeds fridge. And I was like, you're not from fucking Leeds, are you?
Well, he just put a thing on Insta saying he was talking to some American friends of his, and he puts on a posh English accent when he's talking to them. I was like, hey, you caught yourself out there, aren't you?
It's like splitting it.
I could hear like little twangs of Yorkshire in there. But like me and Brad both sat there like, is he from America? And then I think Brad asked him like before we started, like, where are you from? Are you from Canada, America? Or you're like, oh no, Leeds, mate. We were
Leeds,
like,
mate, yeah.
What?
Yeah, totally. But super nice guy though. Like, I still speak to Harry sometimes now because I do like a bit of script writing, and I know that he's got a script writing company, so we go back and forth sometimes. But yeah, super nice dude.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your music. Obviously, it's got this like really gloomy, dark, but yet sort of frantic, and influences of like hardcore, but also like some really dark, doomy metal as well. It's really interesting. I wanted to ask, like, would you say there's a secret formula to the sound, or is this just what happens when you get all of you guys in a room and this is what comes out?
Well, there's no secret formula, as any bloody band. There's not a formula, I don't think, or not to a genuine band. We're five old bastards, and we have all got completely different influences. Like, our bassist is noise, doom. He runs a label called Trepanation Records, and it's just the stuff he brings out on that is completely different to the rest of us. Then our guitarist Phil, he's a complete hardcore boy, if you like. His nickname used to be Boston because he was into all that sort of stuff. And then Jam, our other guitarist, is a complete black and hardcore, that sort of style. And then Mike is our drummer is, what's he into? Nasm and stuff like that, and so more grindy stuff. And then there's me with Limp Bizkit.
I was gonna say I could see all these influences on Limp Bizkit. I was like, maybe I've just missed the punch on this one.
No, I'm more. I have got more of a commercial ear. I just, but I do like everything. So, but it is more easier listening. Not easy listening, but easier listening.
So where do these filthy vocals come from then? Because I didn't come from Limp Bizkit.
Because I can't sing. So
Neither
let's
Fred
hide
Durst.
it under a load of shouting. That's what it is. There's no, when people say, "Oh, are you a singer?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a singer. I'm a vocalist." That's it. I bury it in. The talent is shouting. So.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask you as well. Like, what got you into vocals as well as like your early like inspirations as well, like.
Well, like I said, I am older, so it was early Deftones. Like the first Deftones album came out just after my first band started. So we were sort of weirdly, and I know people will think it's bullshit, but we were like Deftones before Deftones were out. Things like Helmet, Quicksand, and then obviously that progressed into hardcore or more out and out hardcore, things like Battery. I've been under 108, and then I suppose the turning point for me was we were lucky enough to play with Iron Monkey originally a couple of times, and like the first time we played with them, I'm like, I don't get this. This is Black Sabbath with just a bloke screaming of it, and then it just clicked, and I'm like, fuck, I can do that. I'm really good at doing that. So that's how it sort of started. That was one of the main influences on us.
Oh yeah,
that's interesting.
I went through like a similar thing when I did, like when I first started like doing like vocals and stuff. Because I remember just being like, oh, I really want to be in a band, but I couldn't fucking play guitar to save my life. Still can't. I've been trying to teach myself for ages, but my fingers are just too too bulky. I'm there. Like, I ain't got the dexterity for it.
Too much Yorkshire in you.
Yeah, it's just too much Yorkshire. It's all the time that my ancestors spent in the mines. They were just there, like it's just somehow burn it out of them. Yeah, like I was sat there. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and then I just went, wait, hang on, let me just try out like screaming and stuff. I started teaching myself that, and it came weirdly natural because I've already quite got a lowish voice anyway. So I was like, I've just got to turn it down just like a little bit, and then there it is. So. Yeah,
it's finding the range. It's finding the range, and the old stuff that we used to do. I was really high and and it just sort of it's as I've knackered my throat up more and more, it's just got lower and lower. So, and then it's got to what it is now. So,
by proxy, sounds good though. To be honest, like say like you're doing it like just because it's what you feel like you need to do, but like it sounds perfect for like the music and the atmosphere that you're creating around it. Like, you reckon you would sing then if you had the option? Would you do singing instead of growling?
No, because it's too. People can be hypercritical, and if you don't nail it absolutely every time, you look at I would certainly look at someone trying to sing, and you think, what are you doing? You can't do it. Just know your range, and that's it. I couldn't sing. I don't think. Certainly not live. We'd maybe put something out on an album or something, but it's not. I couldn't do it. I know people scrutinize it too much, and that would get inside my head, I think.
Oh yeah, it's like the whole it's like karaoke. If you know you're not that great at singing, don't even try singing, and it's funny. But if you're like watching someone do karaoke and they're genuinely trying and absolutely just failing at you, you instantly, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've seen. So like people just, I think naturally just so critical on singing. Like, nah, I know how it should sound, and it doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, I'm never going to be singing Creed songs or all like that.
I'll tell you what though, Creed, couple tracks.
A couple of tracks of Creed. I like to say I'll listen to out, but they're a couple of the tracks are just classics, aren't they? That's it.
It's mad that you brought that up because I was speaking to Harry like earlier today because he put a story up and it had Creed Higher on it. I might tell you what though, Creed Higher is a banger. We were like, yeah, it's fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So I want to talk about, because I saw this that you guys did, and I thought this is fucking sick that you've done it, but I need to definitely like go into it. But you guys had some music featured in Cyberpunk 2077, didn't you? And Edge Runners as well. How did that come about?
Honest to God answer, we've said this before, but we have not a fucking clue. Project Red messaged or emailed I can't remember who the email. Anyway, whatever email we've got floating about somewhere, and our guitarist picks it up, Phil, and he was like, "Someone's messaging about putting someone in a game," and like none of us are particularly gamers other than Jam, and Jam was like, "Who's it from?" So we were like, "Oh, it's from this company called Project Red." He was like, "Fuck me, I know what that is," and. So then we just, it opened the door and they said, "Oh, have you got 2 or 3 tracks that are unreleased or unrecorded or whatever?" And it just so happened we were lucky enough to be going in the studio like 2 or 3 weeks after they asked, and that's how it got on. And because it's so short, the track, I think that's why they've been able to use it on all the adverts and everything. So. That's how that came about.
Oh, so it's not even just like in like the radio stations in the game, like actually got used in the advert.
Oh yeah, so if you when it come out on Netflix, they did the cartoon.
Yeah, the Edge Runners thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the Edge Runners cartoon. Well, they put it on the advert, and we got the game, and then 18 months later after the game come out, they did that anime, and we were like, got another email off them, said, oh, by the way, we're using it on a little release on YouTube. We were like, oh, okay. And then 1,000,001 bloody hits later, we was like, shit, that's
so fame.
Yeah, how many people? Yeah, not many people can claim that's we've got that many YouTube views on a track. Unfortunately, we don't earn any money off it, but that would that track paid for the recording of "Leave Me the Ashes of the Earth," which is the last album.
That's mint. That I can't imagine like flicking on like just like YouTube and an ad pops up, it's your music, and you're like, ha fucking.
Yeah, it's someone getting their. It's like obviously the anime, but someone basically getting their brains blown out to our tracks. So it was like perfect.
Super awesome.
I tell you what though, if you ever need to do a music video, just email them back going, by the way, can we use some of the animation?
Oh yeah. I'm sure they'll be like, who are you?
So like after it came out then, did you see like a lot of like publicity for you guys like after it, like like a whole lot of new followers like based on it being in the trailer or featured on the show?
We've had quite a lot of people message us. It had a little bit of a spike on it, but it's been a long game, I think, with it. But like last year, we've had, I don't know, quite a few people come up to us and said, "Oh, you're that band who do that track on that game." So it's more like they've just stumbled across a gig and gone, "Oh, hang on," rather than them sort of looking us up because of that track. So because when we did the track, obviously we've had to, we didn't, but the game people strangled us down on info, so we had to go under a pseudonym, which was Forlorn Scourge. You can look it up at the end of the game in the trailers, but I mean, there's very few people who look through trailers at the end of games, isn't it? So
yeah.
Oh yeah, as soon as those fuckers come on, I'm turning the PS4 off.
Yeah, I've finished. I'm gonna go do it again, but on hard now. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask you as well. Like, I know it's like last year. I think you guys had such a big year, like like Bloodstock and Damnation, like being like the main like sort of standouts.
Yeah.
But I feel like in general, like you've racked up so many like streams on Spotify. And does it feel like it felt like it was building up to that? Does it feel like it just kind of came out of nowhere and you were like
well, because like if we're honest, when we recorded Leave Me the Ashes off our own back, and then we got approached by the label, E1 at the time, it's Monarch now, but they approached us, and like right at the beginning of lockdown, we were like, well, we've got absolutely nothing to lose on this. So they behind the scenes were building it themselves, and they've hyped it, and then it's the press thing, that knowing the right people, they've sort of hyped us massively, and then. But I mean, I think the live show, we've been going nearly 10 years now, I think, and the live show sort of hopefully has done its own work, and that's how we got signed anyway. So, the Damnation came off the back of playing Bloodstock, and basically bumping into Gav at Bloodstock and trying to talk to him whilst he was having a piss in a car park. or I was trying to talk to him whilst he was having a piss in the car park. But when I say tried to talk to him, I was out my fucking tree. I was so wasted. So I was probably absolutely talking bollocks to him, which I normally do anyway, which, when people listen to this podcast, they'll realise how much shit I talk anyway. But yeah, he was like, yeah, you were great. I'll message you, and you take that with a pinch of salt. But the guy is as good as his word, and he did, and he was like, right, I've got this opportunity for you to do Night Salvation. Are you okay with that? And we was like, well, yeah, obviously, yeah. So that's how that came about.
Oh yeah, Gavin's a really nice guy. To be fair, we met him at last year's Damnation because we were doing press for it, and I think we only got to speak to him for like 5 minutes, but he's really sound guy.
Oh, he's class. He's really nice. Again, you sometimes come across people in this industry, whatever this, who were, I don't know. It seems to go to their heads a little bit, maybe, or not so much goes to their heads, but they sort of. A lot of people are only out for themselves, aren't they? They're only out for, oh well, this band are hype at the moment. They're in all the magazines or whatever, and we'll chase them. Whereas I don't think Damnation do that as much.
No, definitely not.
There seems to be, this is who we're listening to this year or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, he even brings bands back from the dead, doesn't he? So he's obviously, Gav's obviously very into the music, and not doing it just for the coin.
Yeah, I remember watching like a few interviews. I think in the like pandemic time, he was doing some videos with Vicky from Bloodstock, and they were like talking about, the bands that he would love to get on, and like he mentioned he was a massive fan of Amon-Ra. And then like now I see this year they're actually playing it, so I think he just gets people that he's a fan of, which is how it should be. I think it's cool. Like
yeah. I know, like fans of the music can see disingenuine people. They can smell a mile off, and I think sometimes other festivals gets a lot of people see through it. Definitely. I think, or a lot of more genuine music fans do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's one thing that strikes me about Gavin is how he's just seems to be just really passionate about it, and that's why he runs it. Like there's bands that, because when we were looking at a lineup, because we're doing press again this year.
Yeah.
We're doing a press again this year, and we were looking at some of the bands, and I was like, I feel like I'm well versed in a lot of the bands in the scene and stuff like that. A good like 40%. I was like, who the fuck are they? And I had to like check them out. Like I was there, I've never heard of these fuckers. And then like I'd be listening to them, like, these are sick, but I was like, how the fuck have I never? But like I feel like every Damnation, like the list kind of grows. Of like,
oh yeah, but that's the great thing about it.
Yeah,
I've learned, Yeah, I learned quite a lot of bands from going. I don't know, at least the last 3-4 years I've been going. It does open your mind up a bit, and it is, it's great to be educated. I'd still be able to be educated and what have you. So,
oh yeah, I think that it's so rare to find that in a festival, and I think like the only time I've ever had that was when I first got into it, where I'd just like a metal show in Leeds or something like that, and just be like, I don't know who these guys are, but I want to go to a show, so I'm buying tickets and then like see them. But obviously, as you get more into it, there's more bands that you kind of like, oh, I've seen them, or like, I know, oh, yeah, I know them. But like Damnation, it's like always a growing list of like, I don't know them, but I'm gonna fucking check them out, and it's such a rare
Great
feeling
discovery.
to get. Like,
although I have to admit, I've never seen Converge. I've never even heard Converge.
really?
And people are like, bullshit, you've heard Converge. And I, honest to God, I've not. And when they played last year, I fucked off home before they played because I was on my fucking knees.
Yeah, we did that. So like we were stood up the entire like I got so much shit for like mates because I got people messaging me going, you had the opportunity to see Converge play Jane Doe in full and you left early. And like I was like, my legs were fucked. I was knackered. I was like, I'm not a fucking spring chicken anymore. I'm fucking,
like, Jesus.
And I'm not. A fucking years of going to gigs and just being a dick has ruined my body. It's aged me faster than it should have. Yeah. So like, I was like, I was knackered. I was one of those things where I was like, I want a bed now.
Yeah, well, I was like that last night. I went to Die Artist Murder, and I was like, oh, fucking hell. About half an hour before the end, I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm going home.
Yeah, honestly, it's
like all from Manchester, so.
Oh yeah. Well, I was saying to Brad like like headline sets now, like hour longs for me. I can't do the full thing.
No.
Like 15-minute, half an hour set, perfect. An hour, it's like I can't.
Maybe 40 minutes for a really shit up. You want to be wanting more, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be like, oh fucking hell, not another song.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Definitely.
Like at the moment, I'm writing with my band, and like I was saying, oh no, we should only aim for like 15 minutes tops, I reckon, for like shows and stuff. And my mate were like, what are you doing? That's fucking nuts. I'm like, nah, 15 minutes, hard as fuck songs all the way throughout. Fuck off. People would be like, hang on, come back. Like, that's the key.
Well, they're going to come back on. No, they're fucking not.
Yeah. We've only got 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're already in the begging shop around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I think I remember I get so tired now. Like I think there was got to like a headline set of Bloodstock, and I was like, "What do you mean I can't bring my chair in?" I was like, "Fucking hell, mate!" How it used to be. Got to stand for the headline set. Fuck off.
Oh fuck that. Yeah. No, I went to download this year. Sorry, and I was like, Slipknot. Nah, I've seen them about 20 times. I'm going home.
Yeah, wise choice. Yeah.
Did you get to see Metallica though?
No, didn't. Well, I only went for the one day. I went for the Sunday, so and that was it. I just, yeah.
Our lass, like, she filmed like a lot of the set, but like I love her for doing it. But she filmed all the songs I wasn't really asked to see. I was like, nah, it's like all the other ones, on that set list would have been better. But I appreciate she actually did it because I was so fucking gutted. I've never been able to see Metallica.
Oh God!
And I couldn't. You're like £400 for that and the coach. I was like,
yeah. I get it. I do get it. And I only went because I blagged my way on. I didn't pay for it. I was just. But the thing is, when you blag your way on, you still got to pay. You've got to pay for charity, which is great. I don't, I'll pay the whatever it was. I can't remember, but you pay a surcharge for the Blaggers Guide. But yeah, I've seen like Metallica. I'm old, like I said, I keep saying I'm old, so I've seen Metallica like 30 times. I saw them at Bradford Queen's Hall. George's Hall in front of like 2,000 people. And that you're never going to beat that, are you?
No, definitely not.
Like, I'd
for all in a 2,000 cap venue.
You know, that does sound class.
In my opinion, I feel like, stadium shows and arena shows, they're all right, but like only if you're seeing someone like Rammstein or someone that's got like, that stage production that you can't really get in like a small venue. But other than that, I'd rather see a band in a small venue when it's like intimate. Like it's always a better show.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just when the singer's in your face or whoever's in your face and you get it is better. It's a better vibe, and you know that they're being genuine as well. They're still fighting for it and still working for the music.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Like I think going to like hardcore shows ruined arena shows for me forever. Cause it's like I was there like, well, hang on, it's like I've just seen like last week I saw someone get kicked in the head like 5 times. And I'm just seeing like some guy stood on stage. I want to go back to last week. Like it was one of those things like the feeling that I got, the feeling I still get going to those shows. So it like an arena show never top it because like the adrenaline rush you get and like how you can see like all the band members as well when they play like really fucking want to go for it.
Oh yeah,
like, like when they're in the arenas, they've kind of already made it. So it's like,
give us your.
I'm getting.
Well, not give us your money. I'm being a bit cynical here. It's not give us your money, but like, do more shows but smaller. I know it's harder work and all the rest of it, and I won't want to do it myself because it is hard work. But the biggest ones I want to see is like in a 2,500, 3,000 cap venue. That's as big as I really want to see.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
I think that was the cap when I saw Turnstile like 2 years ago, and it was fucking great. Like, entire room was just bouncing.
Uni there?
Yeah, were you there?
No, not that one. I was at I was at Knock Loose, but that's the same room in it, and it was like, was it the night after or something, or the week after?
Yeah, because I went to both. So I had Turnstile the week before, and then Knock Loose, and funnily enough, ran into the drummer. Just in the pub like before the show.
Yeah, was he in Dry Dock or something?
Yeah, we went to Dry Dock, and then my mate Jordan went for a piss, and he comes running outside. He's like, "Yeah, fucking guess what?" I was like, "What?" And he went, "Drummer from Not Loose is in the toilet." And he was like, "Would it be weird if we waited?" Like, for him, I was like,
"Weirder if you went and shook his hand." Yeah,
but weird if you went and shook his hand. But even weird, imagine that from his perspective, just like walking out the toilet, and like 6 blokes just like lined up, and just like,
"Hiya,
hiya, mate."
Yeah, do you want to go back in the toilet so I'll have a look at it for you?
You'd be shitting yourself. Like, funniest thing though, he went, "What the fuck does no splash, no gash mean?" When we were talking to him. Oh yeah, it's like in like most British pubs or like bars, you get like a guy that just sells aftershave. He went, "It's a really fucking weird job that," and like end the conversation. Took a photo, he fucked off.
There you go. You taught the drummer of Not Loose something that I hadn't learned in the UK yet.
Yeah, no splash, no gash means.
So, I know that you're an avid vinyl collector. I've seen it. So what would you say is your most treasured vinyl that that is the one that you could never ever get rid of? And what's the first vinyl that you ever bought?
The first vinyl I ever bought was Back in Black. Or first metal vinyl. There's always a check history before that, isn't there? There's always something you like Wee Jimmy Cranky or something someone's bought you. But yeah. So the first one I actually bought was Back in Black, but then my most treasured one, bloody hell. Christ almighty, I don't know. I won't get rid of any of them. I've got a few bits that I signed. I don't know.
You have like that one vinyl that you keep spinning that you always go back to?
That I always go back to is oh God. Probably. Well, I know it's only recent though. It's anything by Acacia Strain, but the 3750, they reissued that not so long back. But that was one that I just it never comes off. It's always on a rotation at some point. Bloody hell. What else is there? I don't know. I've got that much. I don't. Probably something by Metallica again. I've got a couple of signed bits by Metallica, but I've never met them. But it's just things like that, like you get at record fairs and stuff. So,
oh yeah, record fairs are the one. I found so much shit where I'm like, where I'm there, like, you don't even know what he's got. And
yeah,
just like leaving, like I've got like a original pressing, like I've got like 4 original pressings of like Anthrax from record fairs for like a tenner. I'm there like, what the fuck? Like like really good condition as well.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
nice.
Oh wait, I think I've got something similar. I've got
I've got that one.
yeah,
That's
I've
so
got
sick.
that same one. That one, the one that I've got was given to me like by a gift for passing me a
Oh, there you
pencil.
go. There's one that's signed.
Oh,
Oh, sweet. Is that actually signed by the band then?
Yeah, that's actually. I met him. I did meet him. So that's Korn because it's really good for visual. That really good for radio, showing people records. That.
that's if there's a YouTube version that goes.
Oh yeah, there is.
yeah.
In this, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the first time they played I think it was the first time they played the UK. They played the London Astoria, and we went like down and ended up hanging around outside, and eventually got autographs and stuff. So yeah, bit of a because I was only little then anyway. I don't know what year that is.
Yeah.
Is it? It's just on its 30th anniversary on it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's literally just had it. I got like, I think yeah, like 2 weeks ago or so. I went into this record shop in Leeds that I've been keeping to myself. So I'm not telling anyone the name of it because I don't want anyone to keep going and then steal all the good shit for me. So I found like an original pressing of Hell Awaits by Slayer,
Oh,
and I was there like, fucking having that. But then I also saw like a bolt, like an OG pressing a bolt throw as well for the same price, and I was like, I'm fucking having that as well.
I saw Bolt Thrower in a bloody room with 200 people.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
downstairs.
I'd fucking kill to see it.
Downstairs in Queen's Hall in Bradford again. There was them. I think they were headlining. I think Immolation and what was the other bloody death metal band? The drummer used to sing. Anyway, I can't remember, but yeah, there was. Yeah, you don't realize what you've got until it's sort of, oh shit, they're massive now.
Oh,
Well, I mean, bolt thrower, not even going anymore.
No, well, don't they keep having a dabble though and like teasing shit about doing gigs again? And
yeah, because like all the members are still about, and
yeah,
like a lot, like I think half the fuckers are in memoriam now, aren't they?
oh, are they?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
like majority of them are in memoriam. I'm pretty sure it's like only the drummer that's not in memoriam or something
All right,
like that.
okay.
Like, but to be fair, memoriam bolt thrower set. I
Well,
mean,
they played last year at thingy, didn't they? At, Damnation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if they announced that, like, let's face it, they don't even have to sell tickets at that point. Like,
No,
that's sold
no.
out like instantly. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
well, yeah.
like, oh yeah, we're gonna do memoriam's gonna do like a full on like, I don't know, the Fifth Crusade in full. Yeah, that people would be like fucking.
Oh, yeah, it would
straight
be.
on.
Yeah,
Automatically sell out.
yeah.
Yeah,
it
like,
It would be like
there's
your
no
dream band to play with, like if you could choose.
Dream band to play with. Acacia Strain. Easy as
good
that.
choice.
You know,
For
I've
sure.
never. They're one of those bands that I know that everyone loves Acacia Strain, but I've never actually sat down and given them a listen. I might have to
Jesus
do
you
that.
should.
Make it my own work.
Yeah, that's good home like that though. It's easy.
Oh yeah.
Just start and go all the way through. You can't go wrong.
No, we'll do.
One thing as well that I wanted to ask you is like, we've heard a lot from like, you know, like UK bands how the scene's really changed in like the last few years. But a lot for the better as well. Well, is that something like you'd say you'd agree with? And if so, like, well, what would you say is like the biggest change you've seen as well?
Biggest change is people have started going to gigs again.
Yeah.
That as simple as that. Because we've, played for 30 years. I've been in bands for 30 years, and I went through probably 15 years ago. It was just you were playing to nobody for every bloody gig, and I know people probably say, "Well, you were shit anyway. Why would I go to see a shit band?" But nobody was going anywhere unless it was like your Metallicas or whatever. Then they would spend the money on that. But I think people, certainly the younger generation have picked up going to gigs again, which is great.
Oh
Yeah, definitely. I feel like now, like, because I think it spikes, doesn't it? Like, the 80s was massive for metal, and then like a bit of the 90s with death metal, and then it's sort of like flopped a bit. And now, like, I feel like we're in a really good spot. Like, like you said, you see loads of people at gigs now. You go down to a Boom show in Leeds, like it's full of people, a lot of familiar faces, but also like new faces as well. But like even online, like I feel like metal's just become a bit more popular again, and I don't know why, but like, and there's just a shit ton of good bands as well. Like,
Yeah. Well,
now.
it's thanks to people like I suppose like Turnstile have sort of turned people into the thing again, and then you've got like look at Malevolence. Fucking hell, they're like
shit hot, yeah.
Charts at the moment, but like rightly so. But they've grafted the bollocks off for it. So it's bands like that who are just and also willing to take bands of lesser ilk on, and let them go on tour with them and shit. So it's great.
Oh yeah, it's like even like Not Loose. I always praise them for not being like a greedy band. Like in terms of like they've gotten big and they still use the platform that's just fucking shot up to go. Oh yeah, there's also like bands that have only got like 100 like listeners on Spotify that I check out every now and again. They're fucking sick and they'll share them on the story. Like they don't need to do that.
No.
But
And like they took Static Dress, didn't they? Like last time they were here.
Yeah.
They're Leeds lads, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they've blown up massively in America now, aren't they, I think.
Yeah, they're doing fucking amazingly, yeah.
Touring with Bring Me the Horizon now, so yeah, they're fucking definitely made
there
it.
you go.
But yeah, like it's mental. Like I'd say stuff like even like Trivium, like as a band, like they're one of my favorite bands of all time, and like they're always like giving praise to like smaller bands, and like I remember it was a tour in like 2017. They brought like Venom Prison and Power Trip when they were like they weren't really that big at the time, and then now obviously they're both fucking massive.
Yeah. Although I don't know what's happened to Venom Prison at the moment. I don't know.
We had a conversation about this, but like, because Clarissa had a baby, didn't she?
Yeah.
So I think she's just focusing on that.
Which is fair enough, I suppose, isn't it?
Completely fair, yeah. But like, they did say they were gonna just be writing stuff, but I don't know what's happened. But she's a new mum, isn't she? So
yeah. And you're how long do you won't want no one can pull anyone away from a family. So if it never happens, it never happens. But I mean that last album was amazing.
Yeah, they were one of those bands that I thought each release they added something different. That like it was one of those things that's like you could see it in each album just get a little bit more refined. It's like a little bit more, and it's like that last album was like, yeah, we fucking got it now.
Yeah, good learning curve. That,
yeah, like, well, no, that's the thing. Like, there was just like little snippets throughout. Like, I feel like that could. I don't know. I didn't know what it was, but it was just like it's good, and then like next one, it's like that's even fucking better.
Yeah, shit on the money.
That's even fucking better, and it was just constantly good, right, going up.
Someone said, "Oh well, I don't know if this is true because I've never really studied it, but apparently, what's the album before the last one? Oh god. Anyway, apparently the drums are out on it.
The drums are out.
Apparently so.
I never even noticed that.
Yeah. Now everyone's gonna bloody. Oh yeah.
It's
like it still sounds amazing. I'm not saying that. So it's back to whoever. Someone said the drums are out on it, and not one of us, not one of my lot.
It'd be like once I've heard it, I can't unhear it. It's like
that's it.
My mate pointed out Rob Zombie's got a lisp, and like, yeah, he's got a fucking lisp, right? And I never noticed it, but like, I'm not even kidding. Listen to Dragula. Now that you know he's got a lisp, you can fucking hear it. Right, you can really hear it.
That's two ruined bands to me now. Can't listen to them again now.
My mate were playing it, and I'm not. It was like it was. I was sat there, I was just listening to it, and obviously I've heard it like a million times, and he just goes, he's got a lisp, right? And it's like as soon as he said that, that's all I could hear. I was like, "You're fucking He ruined the song for me. Ruined the song. Yeah,
You can't ruin that. It's great.
Yeah, but like, mate, you haven't listened to it yet without the
Rob Rombie.
I've seen interviews with him and all sorts. I've never heard it. I've never seen it. So
it's particularly when he's just doing singing. Because I've noticed when he's talking, no lisp, singing, it's got like a to his like S's, and obviously Dragula, there's a shit ton of S's, and that's all you can hear.
Maybe this is part of his vocal technique, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's a way of getting your fry going or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'll say that to myself. So I know you're a bit of a foodie. What would you say if you were on like death row? What would be your death row 3-course meal?
Steak 3 times.
It's been like a steak themed day today because like we're talking to someone at work and he was just like, "Oh yeah, most nights I have like 3 steaks in a row." I'm like, "Fucking hell!" Don't know what wage you're getting paid, mate, but it's not mine.
Living the dream, that lad.
I know.
Hell.
Is he bulking?
One of my pals, he owns a restaurant in Hull called Hearth, and he does the best food I've ever eaten. It's fucking phenomenal, and they do that Chateaubriand. Brioche, in it. Like a steak to share. Well, my missus never gets to share it with me. He's get out of the way, let me have it, and you have something else. God, I'd have 3 of them. His food is phenomenal.
I always find it funny whenever you see like on a restaurant where it says like to share. I'm like, fucking bet. I'm like, fucking bet, mate. I'm getting that.
What am I sharing this with? A bloody, infant.
Yeah. It's like the 20 chicken nugget share box, so it's share box. I'm fucking piling the full fucking 20.
That's like a start for me.
No, I don't like McDonald's. My young and will eat 20 nuggets on her own. She's only like 12, so yeah. You're kidding yourselves on the share shit.
Yeah, there's no share about it. It's like I'm eating it.
Yeah.
Even if I'm like fucking ill afterwards, I'm eating the full fucking. Like, one thing I wanted to ask you. So, what are some of your sort of your hobbies and interests, like outside of the band?
I don't get much time for much else. I'm a gym bunny, gym rat, whatever. I like going out and eating. And I like drinking. I'm really good at
that. Same.
And other than that, not a lot really, because I think my missus would kill me if I had any other bloody pastimes. Because the band takes up so much time, and obviously having a family, you've got to be a bit like forgiving on that. And my missus is real good with it, really. So there's never been a gig where she's like, "Oh, you can't do that." It's always she'll do her damnedest to make it work. So
it's come down to your shows.
Nah.
not a bag.
She came a couple of times early on and went, fucking row. What a fucking row that is. Realizes, we're doing well. And has been, when did she come last? A couple of years ago, she came to one and went, "Oh, fucking hell, it's got heavier."
No.
Yeah. So, but she realizes, she enjoys it because I enjoy it. But other than that, she couldn't give a flying monkeys what I'm doing, as long as I'm a good lad.
Yeah, I'll listen to you guys while we're making tea tonight, and my girlfriend's like, "What the fuck is that?" And that's how I know that I found a great band, because if it sounds like just hard as fuck, but it is there. Like that's the kind of stuff I like. It's just like how frantic and dark you guys sound. Like you've got the balance between like the atmosphere and the straight punch you in the face, which I think comes from like the hardcore side. I imagine, that sort of slap in the face.
Yeah. Well, the vocal thing. Back to that. So I think. And that's no disrespect to any death metal bands or anything, but I can't get my head around wanting to sound like you're singing down the bottom of a well. Do you know what I mean? You put too much reverb or too much. I like vocals with punch, with like you put too much. I don't know, effects on your vocals, and you lose the bloody. You lose the feeling or the aggro out of it. That's why I like hardcore, I guess. So. because it's the most genuine form of bloody vocals, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like when I first started, I really really leaned more to death metal, and like death metal is where my sweet spot is, but I've been trying to move back and strip it back a little bit personally as well, because I do agree sometimes people focus too much on putting distortion on the voice.
Yeah,
They actually,
distortion,
lose sight
reverb.
for, like, yeah, like they lose sight for what it could be. Like the more I've listened to hardcore, the more I'm like, nah, these vocals kind of get me more pumped than listening to someone gurgling. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I don't know, the black metal thing. It loses its aggro because it's too not produced, but it's too. It just doesn't have the kick in it. Obviously like a lot of the original old school stuff. It's trying to take that underproduced direction anyway, and you'd be fucking stupid to try and produce it anyway. But do you know what I mean? It's like the early Mayhem stuff and what have you. I've tried and tried and tried, and I just can't get my head around it. It's just not for me, that. But I each to their own. I'm not saying anything's better than anything else, but for me, it has to be one style, and it has to be not a cleaner vocal, but a more genuine vocal.
Yeah, I think like with like death metal, for example, at the moment, like it did go through like a bit of a produced phase, and I think like especially like what's happening with deathcore at the moment, like that is very heavily produced. And I do like a lot of the bands, but I feel like when that happens, you see a lot of like bands trying to go through more of a raw old school sound now. Like
Yeah.
Frozen Soul, Creeping Death, shit like that. Like they're all going back to the basics now, and I think it's working well. So it's nice to have the balance for sure, but sometimes you can't beat the good rawness. You know what I mean? The fresh stuff.
No, it's that is I do like like I said, I do like the rawness, but then on the other hand, I like Fit for an Autopsy. I love them, and they're the most produced fucking band in the world by the best producer in the world as well. So you can't define what you're really after all the time anyway. So.
Oh yeah, like Fit for an Autopsy, it goes. Like they're fucking great. Like
absolutely.
Like I've seen them live, like I feel like seven times or some shit like that now, and that every time I'm like, I always leave going, that was fucking good. I don't really ever get sick of watching them live. Just
and they get better and better as well.
Yeah,
they do.
Just get better and better. Like I remember early days, they were kind of like they weren't really in the genre of like, oh yeah, these are some of the biggest heavy hitters in deathcore. But I think over the last few years, they've really pushed it to the point where it's like, yeah, no, these guys are probably one of the strongest bands.
Well, without a doubt, yeah. I don't even know if they're deathcore anymore, really. They're just
sort of their own thing, aren't
they? Yeah, they're just a great fucking. I mean, like they played last night, so that's why they're fresh in my mind. But they were fucking great. Just the sound wasn't particularly brilliant last night for any of the bands. It was really quiet, but because they are produced or they are so good at what they do, they just cut through. It was great.
Oh, amazing stuff. So we got one more question for you. If you're in a zombie apocalypse, which band member would you be most reliant on, and one member that you'd be least reliant on? It's the most and least.
Without disrespect, Danny Boy, our bassist, probably he's the least likely. He's probably not the most useless, but yeah, I think because he's so nice. He'd be like, "Oh, go on then, eat me." But
all right, I guess take on my food.
Go on then, whatever. Yeah, go on. I'll just have another can of pop, and you crack on and eat me. But whereas, like, I reckon our drummer's the weapon. He's a secret weapon. Is that lad? He's wiry, and he'll. Yeah, I reckon there's some undisturbed brooding waters hidden beneath him. If he pops, he would like take us all out.
He's got that little glint in his eye, where it's there like
or dead behind the eyes, more like.
Yeah, the kind of guy you want on your side more than against you, you know.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's because he hangs around in toilets too much. Sorry, that was a private joke. So.
No, yeah, I think, It's funny though, because we love asking this question to bands. Like we always say this, like you just get a different answer every time. You get the people that are just honest with it, or people that are like, oh, I don't know, maybe me.
No, bollocks to that. No, I can't find my way out of a wet paper bag. I look like a dickhead on stage, but that'll do me.
we had like of virtue like last week. He just openly went, all of them. I wouldn't rely on any of them. And we're like, fucking hell.
I'm out of here.
Threw them all under the buff. We're like, nah, fuck them.
They're all dog shit.
Yeah, they're like, fuck them. I won't rely on any of them. We were like, all right, man.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man.
The question about the stupid things, story or whatever. It's not. It's very loosely based around music, but our pal who used to live in London called Tommy Concrete. He now lives in Scotland, but we turned up to go see. I think it was Entombed, and we got there, and at fucking 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he was away with the fucking fairies. He'd taken so many fucking bits and bobs, tablets, booze, the lot. We turned up, and he was literally in his karate jacket with a wooden samurai sword, smashing the shit out of stuff in his garden. And then his next door neighbours were like, what the fuck is going on? This is like peering over the wall as we walked through into the garden. And all his housemates were like, yeah, he's been like that all day. And we had to go to a fucking gig with him out of his fucking mind. So, yeah, that's probably the stupidest story that I can think of off the top of my head. But
he probably didn't think he was at a gig. I thought it was like in Karate Kid or something. Get rid of physics tournament.
Away with it. The boy was away with it. He was fucking hell.
One of those where it's like when you get into the bouncer, it's like, all right, you shut the fuck up. Shut up and let us do the talking.
Yeah. Well, there's another story as well. I got spiked once at a gig, drugs wise. I fucking had 4 cans and I was, again, just lost 8 hours of my night. And I went out with one pal, our guitarist, and I woke up in another kid's house, our old bass player's house. And I woke up having a shit in his bath.
And that's a good fucking tour story.
Where the fuck am I? What the fuck have I done? Whose house is this? I'd never even been to this kid's house at that point. He'd moved in with his new girlfriend. So I had to creep through the house, bollocker, opening doors thinking, shit, whose house is this?
It's like you never guess what your dog's just done. It's like,
yeah.
It's like we don't have a dog.
It's like the one in that fucking bathroom took a steaming shit.
That's brilliant.
So yeah, if he watches this ever or listens to it, he'd be like, you bastard.
I hope he does.
I wonder who with a phantom shit or what.
I tidied it up. I'm not a bloody complete imbecile.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been great having a chat with you. I know Nathan's got to see you already at Boom, but I hope I'll get to see you as well sometime.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, cool. I look forward to seeing you and meeting you properly.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, thank you so much, man.
No, thank you for asking me on, and hopefully we'll see you all next year. Well, we will see you next year, but keep your eyes out on our socials and shit, and we'll be out and about. So,
definitely.
Grab a pint with you. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet, good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Good night.